Hey now, what up, everybody? We're gonna do some Code Katas. Let's get into it. Kata. Um, let's go ahead and head over to codewars.com. If you don't know, Code Katas are little coding challenges. They rank from easiest to hardest. 8Q at easiest, 1Q at hardest. We like to sort them by most completed, and then we just go down the list and we're doing them all till there's no more. We don't always find a solution, but I'd say 99% of the time we can knock them out. Hardest part is finding the one that we're on now. String repeat we did, replacement alphabet we did. We're on dubstep. Polycarpus works as a DJ in the best Berlin nightclub, and he often uses dubstep music in his performance. Recently, he has decided to take a couple of old songs and make dubstep remixes of them. Let's assume that a song consists of some number of words that don't contain wub. To make the dubstep remix of this song, Polycarpus inserts a certain number of words wub before the first word of the song. The number may be 0. After the last word, the number may be 0. In between words, at least 1 between any pairing of neighboring words. And then the boy glues together all the words, including wub, into one string and plays the song at the club. For example, the song with the words I am X can transform into a dubstep remix as wub wub I wub am wub wub X. And cannot transform into wub wub I am. Okay, so they're saying that there's always a wub in between words. Recently, Johnny has heard Polycarpus' new dubstep track, but since he isn't into modern music, he decided to find out what was the initial song that Polycarpus remixed. Help Johnny restore the original song. Cool. So our input consists of a single non-empty string consisting only of uppercase English letters. The string's length doesn't exceed 200 characters. Output: return the words of the initial song that Polycarpus used to make the dubstep remix. Separate the words with a space. Cool. So I think what we can do, I got a couple ideas. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Bring it down locally. Bring in our title. Let's grab our function. Okay, let's start up Quokka now. And let's bring our test down so we can see our output. So you can see we're getting undefined return. That's good. Cool. So what we want to do, we need to remove the wubs. And then we need to separate the words that are left with spaces. So I think in order to remove the wubs, we're going to use a replace. So I think we could do, let's just say return, let's see what we get back here. Let's say return song dot replace. And we want to replace, we're going to use some regex, so we'll say we want to replace wub, not wum, wub, and we want to replace it globally, and we want to replace it with a space. So are we getting it? I think we're gonna have too many spaces because we're replacing each wub with a space. And so if you have three wubs in a row, then we're gonna have three spaces. Let's chunk it into, because it looks like it's working now. So but it's hard to tell with Katas sometimes. So let's throw it into Code Wars and see what kind of errors it gives us. So yeah, so we're getting the multiple spaces. So I think what we could do, I'm sure there's some kind of, I think there's some sort of function that, or method that removes all spaces from an array. And if there's not, then I know I can think of a different way to do it also. Remove all spaces from array. These are all from a string. So I think what we can do is let's do another replace. We'll say dot replace again, and we're gonna replace our spaces globally with this. Cool, so that took out all of our spaces. So now what we could do, I mean, this is not a performant way to do things, but we could split it, turn it into an array. Trying to think. We could split it and then join it on a space. right? So let's say dot split, and we'll split it like that, and then let's join it like that, right? So I think this is gonna work. This is probably not the most performant solution because we're having to iterate over the string and then the array. But let's see if it works. Cool. So it works. Let's see. Let's attempt it. No. Because we're just working with ABC. But if we need words to be together, I see. Okay, that makes sense. So that worked because we were just doing ABC, just 3 letters separated. But if we need a full word, then that's not going to work because we're going to split each letter and then put a space in between each one. So let's say remove multiple spaces, regex. This is in C#, but let's find it in JavaScript. I think this is the one we already looked at. Oh no. Okay. So what does this do? So we just need to put a plus sign in there? And it's saying we'll need to trim it. So let's try this. If it works, let's figure out what it does. Because I have no idea what's going on there. Let's just bring it in here and test it. We'll get rid of the split and this join. That's not going to work for full words. It's saying for us to put a plus sign here. And it's saying that we're going to need to trim it. And trim removes any trailing spaces. I don't know if it removes spaces at the beginning. Let's see, trim JavaScript. I know it removes trailing spaces. Okay, it removes white space from both ends of a string. So the beginning and the end. Any white space will be removed. Cool. Alright, so let's see if this works. Let's test it. No. Oh, maybe because we need to put a space. So that does it for, that's our ABC test. So let's attempt it. That tells us the real answer. Cool. So that works. So let's Google, let's see what this plus sign means. I don't know how to search for this. It never really works. Sign regex meaning. Regular expression quick index. Here's a plus sign. Oh, that's just, okay, that's just what it wants us to match. So it's not going to tell us. It didn't really explain it here. We'll check one more quick reference page. If we don't see it, then we'll move on. Here we go. A plus sign matches one or more of the preceding character, class, or subpattern. For example, A plus matches A, B, and triple A. Okay. Cool. So it looks like it matches all of the character that are in a row. So this will take all of our spaces. So what this is doing is it's taking all of our spaces and replacing them with one space. Cool. All right, so let's submit it. Did it go? Okay. So they combined the R2 replaces into one. They put the plus sign in. They replaced all the wubs with one single space, is what they're doing. This match, they put the plus sign in so it matches all the wubs, takes all the wubs that are in a row, replaces it with one single space. Filter. Wow. Oh, they split it on the wub. Interesting. That's cool. Split it on the wub, so that will leave our words intact. And then if it is, they filter out all the wubs and then join it on a space. Same thing here. Split on the wub, filter. Cool. Interesting. Alright. We learned a couple things. That's cool. So let's do our next one. Unique in order. Implement the function unique in order, which takes an argument as a sequence and returns a list of items without any elements with the same value next to each other and preserving the original order of elements. So I'm thinking what we can do initially is a new set, and that will remove any duplicates. But I think then the problem becomes they're going to try to trick. Oh, see, they're doing it here. where there's multiple B's. So I think if we do a new set, it'll remove all the B. It'll only leave us one B. So we could do a loop and say if letter is not equal to previous letter, and we could push those into an array. So that's the way I'm thinking. Cool. So I think that's how we're going to do it. We're going to use a for loop. Whether it works or not remains to be seen. Whoa! I have no idea what we just did. Whoa. Weird. What is going on here? There we go. Why is it doing that? Okay, let's try this again. Let's go grab our title. Unique in order. We want to code. There we go. Okay. Title. Let's grab our function. Oh, the iterable can be a string or an array. That's okay. So that makes the for loop solution even better, because it doesn't matter whether we're looping through an array or a string. So maybe the for loop is the best way to go about it. Let's grab our test. They give us one test. That's cool. That's all we need. Let's turn this into a log. Let's start up Quokka. Cool. We'll go ahead and bring this down so we can see our output. You see right now we're getting undefined returned. That's fine. I'm going to change this. We're going to take this out. We're going to remove all this. We're going to put our function name here. So we're gonna need a place to, but it always, whether it's the input's a string or a array, it always wants us to return an array, right? Yes. Okay. So that's cool. So the place that we're going to, we're going to say we're going to need a place to store our new array that we're building up. So we're going to say let unique equal an empty array, and we'll push our unique values into the array. And then we need a loop through our iterable. So we'll say for we want to let I equal 0. Well, I is less than iterable dot length. Then we want to increment I. So we'll say if I at index, the letter we're looking at, is not equal to I at index plus 1. If it's not equal to the next letter, then we're going to push it because we know they're different. Right? Yes. Okay, so we'll say if iterable at index, so the letter we're looking at currently is not equal to iterable at index plus 1. If it's not equal to the next letter coming up, then we want to push the letter we're looking at currently. So we'll say unique dot push, and we will push our iterable at index. And now if we return unique, we get it. Now it's working for this test. Let's see if it works. For the random test and stuff they give us in Code Wars. Let's go ahead and chunk it into Code Wars, see what happens. Let's test it. Passed. Let's attempt it. Wow, cool. That was pretty easy for a 6Q. Cool. All right, let's submit it and see everybody else's answers. So they have a place to store their build up the array they're building up. They have a variable called last. Doing a basic loop. So instead of just looking at an index ahead, they're storing it in a variable. These people are spreading out the string or the array. They're filtering through it. They're taking in the letter and the index. If the element is not equal to iterable at index -1, so they're checking backwards. Then they filter it out. Cool. And they get the array. Storing it in an array, filter, call. So they're checking backwards again. Cool. I like our solution with the for loop. I think, because, well, I mean, these are all good. Cool. This is what we did here. Cool. All right, let's do another one. What's next? Convert Boolean values to strings, yes and no. Complete the method that takes a Boolean value and returns a yes string for true or a no string for false. Seems easy enough, right? Let's do it. Let's code. Song title. Cool. So let's open it up in VS Code. Put in our title. Let's bring down our function. And let's bring in our test. 2 tests. So, I mean, it's as simple as it gets. So we could say if bool is equal to true, it's capital or no? No, lowercase. True, then we want to return yes. If bool is equal to false, then we want to return not that. We want to return no. So if we start Quokka, that should have solved it. We need to change these into console logs. So we get yes and no. We could also do it with a ternary. That might look kind of ugly. We could try it out though. We could say return bool is equal to true. Then we want to yes. And then we also could just do like, if it's not true, then just return no, depending on what they're going to give to us. But I mean, if it was passing us multiple words, we don't want it to return no for every single other word, so we need to check for false. So we'd say if bool is equal to false, then we want to return no, or else null. Or like return a empty string. So that works. It's ugly. I really like the syntax where it looks like this, where it's let bool to word, and now we'll take in bool. We have our arrow function, and then we put this in. But I like it when it's like when we bring this down, then we bring this down, this, and then this. When you save that, that looks cool to me. Super hard to read, I guess. But anyways, I think the best way to do it is just like this. Nice and simple. Let's paste it in. Let's test it. Let's attempt it. Okay. Doesn't get any easier than that. So that they did it this way, but this will automatically default to true if there is a value. So they're saying return bool. So if bool, so that's true, then return yes, and if not, no. But like I said earlier, depending on what input they gave us. I knew somebody would give a smart ass answer. No idea what's going on here. Alright. If bool, return yes. If not, return no. No, yes. I don't know what's going on here. Cool. Alright. Let's do another one. Convert number to a string. We need a function that can transform a number into a string. What ways achieving this do you know? Okay, so I think there's a few different ways we can do this. Let's bring it down locally. Put our title in. Let's grab our function. Whoa. And then let's, what is going on? Oh my gosh. Then let's grab our test. We have one test. Change it to a log. And then start up Quokka. So one way to do it, we could take our number, split it, I mean, could we just say return num plus string? Think that will work? We could log right here. We could do our logs and see our types. So we could say type of num plus. Oh, so that's still a number, right? Or does this type of not work like that? What about num to string? So that's a string. That'll work. What are some other ways? I thought this would work. I'm gonna try it out. Let's put it in Code Wars and see if it works. See, so that does work. So type of was giving us the type of the number. It wasn't doing the calculation for us. So this works as well. So we could do it like that. We could do toString. That works. We could do I think we could do, let's see if this works, where we split it and then join it. We'll say, well, I guess we have to turn it into a string to split it. Maybe not. You wouldn't want to do what we're about to do, but I just want to see. Can you split a number? Okay, so you can't split the number. You have to turn it into a string first, so I mean that's the whole goal anyways. Right? Okay, yeah, so we'll go ahead and use the toString. And let's go ahead and put it in. Let's test it. Let's attempt it. Cool. Let's see what everybody else did. I'm sure there'll be some clever ones. toString. Oh, yep. String, you put the num in. Type coercion. I don't know how this works here. Oh, yep. Put it in backticks. Very cool. Here we go. Using bitwise operators. Interesting. I like the backticks. That's cool. Okay, can we do one more? It's a 6Q, Fibonacci. We may or may not do this one. We might save it for next time. Let's just check it out. Well met with Fibonacci bigger brother, aka Tribonacci. As the name may already reveal, it works basically like a Fibonacci, but summing the last 3 numbers instead of 2 numbers of the sequence to generate the next. And worst part of it, regrettably, I won't get to hear non-native Italian speakers try to pronounce it. Har har. So if we are to start our Fibonacci sequence with 111 as a starting input, we have this sequence, 111, so that will equal 3, so that will be our next number. Then we need to sum 1, 1, and 3. That will give us 5. Then we need to sum 1, 3, and 5. So, we could use recursion on this. But what if we started with 0, 0, 1 as a signature? As starting with 0, 1 instead of 1, 1 basically shifts the common Fibonacci sequence by 1 place. But started with 001 as signature. So we skip the 2 zeros. Then we add 1 because that's all we have left. So 1 1 2. We add 0 1 1. That's 2. Interesting. All right, we'll save this one for next time. I think it'll take a little bit too long for now, but my name is Patrick Eflin. I am looking for a job, front-end developer in the Texas area. If you know about anything, let me know. I hope everybody has a great day. Peace.